All right, so Mr. Hokinson, do you have your witness available?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who is your witness?
Patrick Zapalak.
All right, and anybody else?
No, he's the only witness.
Okay, and so I have the order here in the file, so I'll just need to get you to, let me make sure you don't have the proof of death and then the oath, if you'll just e-file those.
Yes, I've sent them to Mr. Zapalak, and he will get those signed, notarized after the hearing.
Good, and then as soon as the clerk gets those, then they can issue the letters if you need those.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Zapalak, I'll get you to raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay, and I think you're still muted, Mr. Zapalak. I think you're still muted. I read your lips, so I'll take that as an I do. But... yeah. Okay. All right.
Is that better, Your Honor?
That's good. All right, so Mr. Hokins,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
All right. Will you please state your name for the court? Can you hear me, Patrick?
Yes, I do now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Can you please state your name for the record?
Patrick James Zapalak.
And was the decedent Jerry J. Zapalak your father?
Yes.
And did he die in Austin County, Texas on December 10th, 2020 at the age of 91?
Yes.
And have 4 years lapsed since his death?
No.
And was your father a resident of Austin County at the time of his death?
Yes.
And did he leave a written will dated October 10th, 2018?
Yes.
And do you have a copy of that will in front of you?
I do.
And is that his signature on the will?
Yes.
And as far as you know, was that will ever revoked?
No.
And Your Honor, we'd like the court to take judicial notice that the original of that will is in the court's file.
Yes, and I have that here.
Okay. And were you named to act as the independent executor in the will?
Yes.
And was your father married at the time of his death?
Yes.
And was he married to Vera Roselle Zapalak?
Yes.
And were they separated at the time of his death?
Yes.
And in fact, was she a citizen of the Czech Republic that had moved back there permanently prior to his death?
Yes.
And did she sign a waiver prior to returning to the Czech Republic, which is on file with the court?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we also would ask that the court take judicial notice that that waiver was filed in this court's file.
I'll take judicial notice of that.
All right. Were any children born or adopted by your father after this will was executed?
No.
And is the state of Texas any governmental agency or charity named as a beneficiary in the will?
No.
And is there a need for the administration of this estate?
Yeah.
And are you qualified to serve as the independent executor of this estate?
Yes.
And are you asking this court to appoint you the independent executor of this estate?
Yes.
And are you asking the appointment of appraisers be waived?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to admit this will to probate?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see there's also a Margaret Zapalak that's on the screen. Is that somebody connected with this that we need to hear from?
That's,
No, Your Honor.
that's my wife.
Yeah, I think she's just,
Oh, audio. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
audio. It's audio. I have audio coming in, streaming on the phone and on
Okay.
the computer separately.
I think she was there to help him.
Okay, real good. All right, well then, based on the testimony, I admit the will of Jerry Zaplak into probate and appoint you as the independent executor of the estate. There will be an inventory that'll be due within 90 days. And Mr. Hokinson can get that or help you with that, get that put together. And
Yes,
as
sir.
soon as we get, there's an affidavit called the proof of death and other facts. So we need that and the oath to the clerk's office, and then you can get letters of testamentary if you need some of those.
Yes, I sent those to Mr. Zapalak, and I believe he's going to, today, go get those signed and notarized, and then he will send them to me and I'll file them with the court.
Sounds real good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Mr. Lewis, I'll wait till. All right, so Mr. Lewis, can you hear me okay? All right, so Mr. Lewis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, so you're in the right place now. I show that, are you here on the case of Ethan Lee Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I have that, it's not set to start until 10. So you're in the right place, and hopefully the other people will join here in the next 30, 45 minutes or so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah. Let's do that. I mean, first. Let's do this. Same thing. Dang. No. So he's on. He was doing. He went to the world. And ain't no one in. Granules on cogs. 12 cows, 800 both. The lowest. Oh, I see it set right here. 960. But the dryer just like that. It's crazy. I just still think it's plugs. The radio's coming. Oh yeah, you can hear the stuff coming. It's coming out.
Put it underneath that.
Uh-huh. Oh.
But I moved it into the room.
What's that?
I knew it sounded like a rooster that grows alarm.
Oh, I thought it was a little radio. Move it along.
Hmm?
Move it along.
Her little purple thing. It's something. How are you all doing? I said, we're good. Have fun. Bye. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, she's dead.
It's probably the first one to look in the news after. Okay.
Mhm. My God, cow.
She can tell me that hair look like.
Mhm. Keep that hair on deck.
You got that stimulus check, huh?
Of course, somebody out there faded walk. Yeah, slow coffee, I'm warming up.
Is it warm?
It's high, so you gotta be careful. Oh. And if they're crazy.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Why are they charging you $2?
Or,
No statement, no statement. You have like 2 transactions with that. They're $2 add up.
what, a month? $2 a month.
My goodness, I don't know if it's for the bank or the credit card.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know. Mm. What's today's picture birthday? Same birthday as.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Wow, she takes him?
it showed up like a Thursday. Looking to see if they've got a thing where you won't get mailed statement. So we're in church 2 hours. All we do is come on.
Well, now you have to email me too, don't you?
Mm-mm.
For, the phone?
The bank thing
Oh, your statements.
from the credit card reader.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking it's that. So we'll check the case and-
What you want?
It's kind of wrong. That's what I'm remembering.
For what?
To buy. Oh,
Hey, it's sunny. I ain't had that much in on myself.
dude, you want to give me the spit.
I don't school my stuff.
It's just the same.
No. I'm sorry.
And then you going to warm it up a whole minute just for that. You wrong for that.
Right.
Yeah, you owe me Starbucks. How'd you make it?
What you mean? It was from you made it.
Oh, and then you gave me some old ass coffee.
That's what I had in the icebox.
I don't like old coffee.
Oh, I forgot. Mm-hmm. Oh, true. What is this?
No card.
For what? Oh, man. Oh, your phone?
Mm-hmm.
And they will still keep going. Wonder who she called to get all that stuff.
And of course, you make both pass that up both sides. The lawyers will let him to go after him, see what after that.
Somebody's still on.
But somebody was trying to log in. You hear it like ring. Not on this side, on their side. But he's not there to accept it.
Mhm.
There you go. Okay. Unmute it.
We can.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, look at that. You have that special glow about you. Something
Oh,
must have just happened.
the time changed.
I was thinking because you just got married. So,
Yeah, that too.
let's
I like
see.
my bling on my hand.
Okay. So have we heard it all from Miss Tovar? Do we know if?
I think she knows. Yeah, I mean, she's contacted. Apparently, she told the kids she had trial today. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll give her about 5 more minutes and see what
All
happens.
right. You'll have a busy day after this, or?
We have, I think we have another couple things this afternoon. And now is your deal for tomorrow? The plan is just to reset that.
Well, yeah, at least the enforcement, but I did get a call. We're going to have a Zoom meeting with the attorney this afternoon.
Okay.
So we'll see. And if,
All right, here's Miss Tovar.
okay.
So Miss Tovar, if you could unmute.
Yes, sorry, I'm having a little bit of issues with my computer. I'm trying up and running.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
I can see you. And I don't know if it'd help at all behind you. I can't tell if it's on the wall. There's a light on the wall with like I said, I can't tell if it's on the wall or on a desk. Yeah.
I can try to join from my phone right quick if you like.
Okay. I mean, like I said, just because that light, the light is so bright behind you,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what makes it hard to see you.
Oh, sorry. This is the only place I do it. It's the quietest place in the house.
Okay.
Let me join from my phone right quick. Maybe that'll be easier.
Okay.
Whoops. I bought this little Lumi Cube thing. It's supposed to stick, but it just comes off. Kind of help with even out the lighting.
Can you hear me, Ms. Baker?
I can.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Okay. I can see you a lot better on that. So
Can you see me now?
I can see you much better and hear you. So I'm thinking we can go ahead and disconnect that first one. Is that
I
gonna
thought
be?
I thought I did. Did it not disconnect?
I'll remove you right here.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. The computer was
problem.
acting a little wonky.
Okay. Okay, so is everybody ready to get started on the Ethan Lewis matter?
I believe so, Your Honor.
And Ms. Baker, what witnesses will you have?
I'm just going to call Mr. Lewis today, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Tovar, do you have any witnesses today?
No, I was actually hoping to get a motion for continuance approved so I could have time to get another lawyer because I'm not prepared for today. My lawyer withdrew, so I did send that in, but I mean, I don't know.
Did you talk at all to Miss Baker about that? I'm not.
I thought it sent because this was my first time using the e-file system, so I thought it just went ahead and sent it to everybody on my service contacts because I'm really not familiar on how that works.
Because I don't see it in the file.
Yeah, and may I reply, Your Honor?
Yes.
This case is old. This case has been around since was filed in 2018. We've been operating under temporary orders since May 8th, 2019. Visitation's been sporadic. Their child support arrears. I would just, and my client would really just like some closure.
All right, so we'll go ahead and proceed today. Now, Ms. Tovar, after we proceed today, there'll be an order eventually entered, and if you contact an attorney, you have 30-day window to try to do something if you want.
Okay, I got a quick question. So that motion that I filed, it never showed up on your end?
Yeah, I do not have it in the file.
That's kind of weird because it said it went through. I think it's the receipt that was sent to me showing that I did file it.
When did you file it?
I have to look at my emails. It was at least 2 weeks ago, I want to say, maybe.
I wasn't e-served, Your Honor, so.
Yeah, I have nothing in the file. Well, I'll tell you what, it was stuck behind something else, so I think it is here. And it says in here that it was emailed to bakerdana@gmail.com.
What date, Your Honor?
She signed it on May 5th.
Yeah, no, I've
I
never.
mean, March 5th, I'm sorry.
March, yeah, but no. Let me, Consuela, what is your email address? I can do an email search to see if I even got an email from you.
It's my first name, 0315@gmail.com.
Okay.
Because when I called the I guess it's technical support on the e-file system, since it was my first time using it, they said that anybody in my service contact was supposed to automatically get what I filed. So I didn't have to email it myself. So either I was misinformed on how that works or something happened in the process.
Yeah, I wasn't e-served with a copy. If you just selected e-file and not e-file and serve, you only filed it.
This is why I need to get an attorney because I'm not familiar with this stuff. And being that I don't have one right now, it's kind of hard to do this and, trying to figure out what's going on with Ethan.
Why don't you, if you can't, go ahead and just, can you forward that to Miss Baker by email right now, just so she'll have it?
Sure. You give me 1 second. Let me see. Let's see, where's and the email address, it's bakerdana@gmail.com.
Yes. .com.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Your Honor. I have the motion.
Okay, just want to make sure you got that.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get started. So this is, go on the record now. It's cause number 2018 L7163 in the interest of ELL, a child. Ms. Baker, if I can get you to announce and who you have with you.
Your Honor, my name is Dana Baker, and I represent the petitioner Anthony Lewis, who is also present with me via the Zoom hearing today.
Okay, and then Ms. Tovar, if you would just announce that you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
And what's your relationship to the child, Ethan?
I'm his mother.
And then Ms. Tovar, did you have any witnesses that you were going to call today, or were you going to testify?
I guess I would have to testify. I wasn't prepared to call any witnesses, like I said.
Okay, so let me get Mr. Lewis and Ms. Tovar to raise your right hands. Do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Baker, what are you asking for today?
Your Honor, we have been operating under temporary orders since May 8th, 2019. We're essentially asking that the temporary order the parties have been operating under be made permanent, with an addition of a requirement that their communications take place through our family wizard. And there's also child support arrears as of yesterday in the amount of $3,275.18. We would ask that a judgment be granted for those arrears, that they be confirmed, and that she be required to pay at least an additional $50 toward the arrears, in addition to the child support that has been ordered to pay. I think on June 1st, 2019, it was minimum wage support. And that amount is $319.47. With regards to health insurance, the child is insured by Medicaid. There's no health insurance available at a reasonable cost to either party. In the temporary order, they're named as joint managing conservators, and Mr. Lewis has the exclusive right to designate the primary residence without regard to geographic location. and the exclusive right to receive support. We would also like him to have the exclusive right to make educational decisions. And then all other rights were independent.
All right, and Ms. Tovar, are there changes that you want to see in the temporary orders that are in place now?
I would actually like my son to move up here and live with me and me have full custody. I think I'm more equipped mentally to help him with his dyslexia and his learning disabilities in school. I think I'm a better fit for him educational wise.
And you're in Montana now, is that right?
Yes, sir. As far as the child support, as far as the child support, they just sent him another 2,000. They did take my tax return and send it to the child support, so he should be receiving that to take off the 3,000 that I owe. And I wasn't aware how this works. This is my first time doing the whole child support thing, like me paying. So I got misinformed that I even owed that much. So I was only sending partial payments. And I found out the other day what the actual amount was. So I will be getting up to date on that very soon.
Okay, and then you have that that address in San Antonio, that's the child
Yep.
support disbursement unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Baker, you may proceed.
All right. Anthony, would you state your name for the record?
Anthony Lewis,
And where do you reside?
Wallace, Texas.
Okay. And how old is your son? What is your son's name?
Ethan Lee Lewis,
And how old is he?
13.
And where does he attend school?
Brazos Jr.
And how long have you lived at your address with your son?
I stayed in Wallace all my life. My son's been going to Brazos all his life. Stayed
Okay.
with
Okay. And that was even without a court order, correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And when this case initiated, it was because she attempted to withdraw Eli and leave Montana without notifying you of his whereabouts, correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And we had to get some emergency orders in place to establish establish some original orders, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How is your son Eli doing in school?
Ethan is on an AB honor roll.
I mean, Ethan. And so based on how he's doing in school, do you feel like you're equipped to handle his educational and emotional needs?
110%.
Okay. Now you heard me tell the court that you wanted to have make the temporary orders final with some minor revisions. She currently has, since 2019, she's had a standard possession order, correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Has she consistently exercised any of her possession?
No, ma'am. She's seen him in summer of 2018, 19.
Okay. Okay, so during the summer of 2020, did she not exercise her summer visitation?
No summer, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, nothing.
Did she give you a reason or notify you that she wasn't going to exercise it?
No communication with me at all.
Okay. Now she also has some telephone access with your son, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Does she consistently exercise the telephone visitation with your son?
Here and there when she wants.
Okay. And Does she tend to engage in inappropriate communication with your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And specifically this last call, did she tell your son that y'all had court?
Correct. She told my son that we're in court today.
Okay. And is that something that, discussing this litigation with the children, your child, she's ordered not to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And part of, y'all aren't really able to communicate very well together, are you?
No, ma'am.
And you've repeatedly requested her to communicate with you in writing via text, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
And does she or argue? I guess would it be fair to say that she argues with you about the necessity to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I have told you about an application called Our Family Wizard, which is something you could sign up for and y'all could communicate in writing through that app.
Correctly.
Okay.
Correct.
And is that something that you think would be beneficial to the two of you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And you understand that in any future litigation, that all communication of that app would be available to lawyers and to judges to make sure things are clearly stated. There's no he said, she said, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, are you still okay with her having a standard possession order if she were to exercise it?
I'm okay with her seeing him through the summer or, every other Christmas, or have no problems with any of that.
What are the arrangements? I don't recall, but what are the arrangements in your temporary order for exchanges? Where are those happening?
We're supposed to meet at a store in my town.
Okay. And what store is that?
It's the meat market in the city meat market in Wallace, Texas.
Okay. And so do you want the meeting places to continue to take place there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, since she hasn't exercised visitation consistently, would you ask the court to order her to notify you on Our Family Wizard at least 48 hours before she intends to exercise a visit?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Okay. And if you receive notification with 48 hours before a visit, will you deliver your son to will you meet her at the designated time?
Of course.
Okay. And you pulled up the child support records yesterday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, as of March 14th, 2021, she had arrears in the amount of $3,275.18, correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that doesn't even include any retroactive support, which you're not seeking today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
And before we get to Ms. Tovar, there's one thing I wanted to clarify, Mr. Lewis. At first, when Ms. Baker asked you about visitation, I thought you said you exchanged at a store in Montana. Did I hear that right?
No.
Wallace.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Tovar, do you have questions that you'd like to ask to Mr. Lewis?
No, I would like to state that he was not telling the truth on some things.
Okay. And wait. Right now, you can ask him questions, and then you'll be able to say what you want to say later.
Okay.
So right now, do you have any questions you'd like to ask him?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Why are you not telling the truth about me notifying you when I can't get Ethan? You know how many miles away I am.
Objection.
Hey, wait. Now, Ms. Tovar, wait. Everybody, Ms. Tovar, you need to ask a question and then give him a chance to answer it. So start over again with state your question and then stop and let him answer.
Sorry about that. Why are you not telling the truth about me contacting you when I can't get him?
Objection that misstates the evidence. I never asked him a question about her, whether or not she contacted when she could not get him.
So, Mr. Tovar, why don't you just ask a question about what the contact is when the exchange of Ethan has taken place?
Okay, well, another question I do have is, why does he take his phone from him when I'm trying to contact him? And secondly, why is he changing his number so much?
Well, let's let him answer the first question first.
I never take Ethan's phone from him. Sometimes he's outside playing or doing things and he don't answer the phone. I don't make him answer or I don't make him do anything. That's his own personal phone. If he answers, he answers. If he don't, he don't. I mean, you have all access to contacting him and talking to him anytime you want.
Do you have another question, Ms. Tovar?
No, it's mainly just why the communication is being withheld. And
Well, then,
I mean,
if you want to ask him, if you want to ask him a
question.
question about that, then ask the question to him about that.
Why are you withholding communication sometimes from Ethan, from me? And you've done it before a lot.
Your orders are to talk to him from actually 6 to 8 o'clock, and you talk to him whenever you want. I never withheld any information. You talk to him whenever you want, actually, and we have court orders that you only supposed to talk to him on school nights 6 to 8, but you can talk to him anytime you want. My lawyer has the records.
Then why, when I tried to get him last summer, you told me no?
I can't tell you. You have court orders to get him every summer. I can't tell you no. You have your 45. You choose not to get him because of the COBRA.
Why, when I asked you to get him spring break, you told me no?
That's my spring break, and we have plans actually today. After all this, your spring break was last year. I haven't heard anything from you last year, or on Christmas, or on New Year. I mean, Thanksgivings, anything.
I am, dude. Oh my God, you're lying. I'm sorry. He's not telling the truth. He's not.
Okay. Well, I mean, at this point, you ask him questions, and then later you'll be able to give your testimony.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, Ms. Baker, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Baker, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so petitioner rests. All right, so Ms. Tovar, if you'd like to give testimony, you can now. Just try to give it slowly and say what you want to say now. And if Ms. Baker objects to something, then stop so we can address that.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. As far as me not contacting him about getting Ethan and stuff, I have. Every time that there is times when I try to contact Mr. Lewis that he ignores me. I don't get a response for days after. And then when he does respond, he starts arguing with me. And I do have tons of text messages showing that he's arguing, and I'm trying to tell him, I'm not trying to argue with you. I just want to talk about my son. That's all I want to talk about with him. And he continuously argues and steers the conversation somewhere else when all I want to do is talk about my son. So as far as, me arguing with him, it's the other way around. And me not contacting him last summer and all those other holidays, I've told him over the phone. It wasn't via text message, which I made the mistake not doing it via text message, so I would have the proof. But I have talked to him over the phone before and told him there may be times I cannot get him because I'm thousands of miles away. And if I can, I will let him know that I'm coming there, and I will let him know a month ahead of time that I'm coming to get Ethan. That way it gives him plenty of time to prepare.
Anything else, Ms. Tovar?
As far as me not talking to Ethan too, there's been times when I talk to him and then I haven't talked to him for almost a week, and I start getting real worried because it's my son and I'm way over here and I don't have any way to, to figure out what's going on with him. I contact his dad to see what's going on with him. He won't answer me. And then when I do finally talk to my son, because I actually had to threaten Mr. Lewis with calling the cops to do a welfare check on my son because I had no contact with him and he was withholding contact from my son and me. And he finally got my son to talk to me. And when he did, he said, my dad took my phone. My son tells me his dad took
Objection,
his phone from me.
hearsay.
Objection sustained. Yeah, you can
Sorry.
testify about things that you personally experienced. You can't say words that other people said.
Oh.
Anything else, Ms. Tovar?
I'm trying to think. Like I said, I really wasn't prepared for all this today. I wanted a little more time since I'm doing it by myself.
Do you have any text messages at all?
I don't have any submitted to the court at this moment, but I have on my phone. I have tons of text messages from Mr. Lewis.
And are you communicating at all through the Our Family Wizard?
I had no idea this thing existed, sir.
Okay.
And as far as me not knowing about this court date until I think it was February 12th is when I finally found out. Everybody else was talking about this since last December. And I barely found out about any of this final hearing February 12th. And I do have emails that I sent to you showing that was the first I ever heard of this hearing.
Your Honor, she was represented by an attorney when the hearing was noticed. Subject that misstates the evidence and relevance.
All right, so anything else, Ms. Tovar?
I'd really like to see if we can get my son to speak with you, to see what he wants to do. I know you're probably going to say it's hearsay, but he has stated to me that he's scared to say he wants to live here.
Hearsay.
See?
Yeah, no, that is hearsay.
I'm sorry. It's what my son tells me. And I don't hide anything from my son. Me and my son tell each other the truth about everything.
Okay. And Ms. Tovar, your mailing address is still 1600 Lakeside Drive in Lolo, Montana?
Yes, sir. We've been here 2.5 years. Okay. And that's another thing I was trying to figure out was Mr. Lewis has moved a few times and has changed my son's number a few times in the past, I'm going to say year. I kind of want to know what the reason behind that is. He changed my number. I mean, he changed his number like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in the past 6 months.
Now is your time to ask him that question. Ask him one at a time.
Anthony, why have you changed Ethan's number so much lately?
Because of the phone service we were getting. We was with Sprint and we changed to AT&T. Then we went to Cricket. Or we went to Cricket, then AT&T. Oh, and we moved next door because our water leak. We had a water leak in our house. So we moved right next door.
Why have I never received the address of where my son's living? I've only gotten the P.O. box.
He told you. You talked to him.
No, I've never gotten the address of where my son lives. I've stated my address to the courts, to his attorney, to everybody knows where I live, but I have yet to know exactly where my son lives.
And Ms. Tovar, right now is your time to ask the questions.
Why is that? I do not know exactly the physical address of where my son lives.
We stay right next door.
I don't know
place.
where next door is, Anthony.
You know where I've been staying there for the last 8 years.
No, you have not been there 8 years.
Okay, you need to ask a question, Ms. Tovar.
Sorry. I'm getting mixed up. Well, why is it that I still have not gotten the address? I don't have your address at all.
That's not a problem. You can have an address.
Mm. Okay, so with that being said, can Ethan come stay the summer with me?
That's what you're supposed to do. That's in our agreement.
So anytime that it's my turn to get him, you're gonna not give me any issues
I've
and you're gonna
never
let me get him.
have. You only got him once, and that was 2 years ago.
That's because all the other times you wouldn't let me.
You need to ask
COVID.
questions, Ms. Tovar. If you have questions, ask questions.
Why did you tell me not to get him because of COVID, but then you told me, or you just told court that I didn't tell you I was getting him?
You said that your daughter had a graduation, but you don't know if you were able to get him. That's exactly what you told me. And you said, well, with all the COVID going on, it's probably not a good idea. Those are your summers, not mine.
No.
What's
Why
really-
are you saying this? And you specifically told me that you didn't want him to travel because of COVID, and I asked you to get him for Trinity's graduation. So why are you saying this now?
You don't have to ask me to get him on your time for the summer. You're supposed to get him in the summer for 45 days. This is what we have written down. Why do you ask me to get him when it's your summer? Just
Why
like-
did you say no?
I can't tell you no.
You do. Oh. Why are you lying about this stuff, Anthony?
Your Honor, objection argumentative, asked and answered.
Objection sustained. So Ms. Tovar, do you know what your time period is in the summer to have possession of Ethan?
Yes, sir. As long as he's not in summer school, I can get him directly after summer school, is
Okay.
what I'm told.
Well, I'm looking at the temporary orders and it has a time period in there. So do you know what that time period is?
I want to say, I guess it should be the 45 days, like he said, I believe.
Okay, but I mean, there's an order in place that gives you possession in the summer. Do you know when that is?
I know it's from June to August. It should be from June to August.
Okay, but I mean, do you know when in June you're supposed to pick him up?
Not right off the top of my head. I do have the papers.
Okay, I mean, do you have those papers you can look at so we can make sure it's clear?
I would have to dig the papers up. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. It says from 6 o'clock p.m. June 30th, ending at 6 p.m. August 14th.
All right, so then, I mean, do you have a question about your period of possession in the summer?
No.
And then what do you understand? You know, this is 2021, an odd numbered year. So what's your period of possession at Thanksgiving in odd numbered years?
Look. Thanksgiving. It states that I can get Ethan at 6 p.m. the day he's dismissed from school, ending at 6 p.m. Sunday following Thanksgiving.
Okay. And then about Christmas in odd numbered years.
States that I can have him 6 p.m. the day he's dismissed from school through the Christmas vacation, ending at noon on December 27th.
Okay, so do you have any questions you want to ask about your then right to possession in the summer or Thanksgiving or Christmas?
No, I'd rather not have visitation. I'd rather have my son living with me.
Okay. All right, any other questions then for Mr. Lewis?
Any questions for her?
No. Ms. Tovar can ask questions to Mr. Lewis. Do you have any other questions?
Why do you not want Ethan to live with me?
All of Ethan's friends is here. He grew up here, and the school, I attend everything, and I know everything that's going on with him. He's an AB on a road student, and he has a routine. He knows no one where you stay at. He's never, I mean, it's a foreign language to him. I want my son to be where he's known at and where he grew up at, and so he can finish school at. I took care of him all his life. I don't feel that you moving up there, that was your choice. It wasn't my son's choice or my choice. You choose to remove yourself from him.
Why are you trying to shelter him? He's got to see the world, Anthony.
He has to graduate school. It's 13.
Do you think there's no schools up here? They have one of the best programs for kids with dyslexia and learning disabilities. They have a whole different school that can help him outside of school up here. The schools are awesome up here. You have no idea. They offer so many different studies for kids.
Need to ask him a question.
Sorry. So why don't you want him to go to a different school and experience a different type of lifestyle?
Objection asked and answered.
Okay,
Sorry.
objection sustained. You have another question you want to ask Mr. Lewis?
Did you know that your son wanted to move up here with me? That's why he came?
Objection calls for speculation.
He can answer if he knows.
What was the question again?
Did you know your son wanted to move up here with me from the beginning? That's why he came.
To answer that question, I have any idea of nothing because you have took him when I was trying to go to school shopping and do everything. The plans was for you to get him for the summer, and you left with him without telling me, without communicating with me, deleting my numbers, my mom number, my wife's number, and we had no way of communicating with him or you. When you left in 2018 with my son up there, the school had to tell me what school that you was taking him out of to enroll him in. I never knew what school it was. So me and my wife had to drive way up there with the court order to come back down here with him. I knew nothing to answer your question. No, I didn't know.
Okay.
That is why
So-
all this is in place now.
So why every time you didn't get your way, you got violent with me then?
Violent. I have anything. I have nothing. I don't even remember. I don't violent. What are you talking about?
Objection.
Do you know I have pictures of that?
What are you talking? I guess I don't know.
So you don't remember when Ethan would want to stay with me, you ripping him out of my arms and tearing up my house along the way.
Objection
taking off
time
with them.
frame.
You can give a approximate time this happened, Ms. Tovar.
This was 2000. I want to say this happened between 2013 through 2020, I think. Or not 20, sorry. Not when did I leave? 18. The years that I was in Texas. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to move, because he kept breaking into my house through my door and being violent with me.
Objection. She's testifying and not asking
You
questions.
just ask
Sorry.
questions right now.
Do you threaten Ethan when he says he wants to come up here? And
Never ever threaten Ethan, period.
do you bully him when he says he wants to live up here?
I'm a father. I'm not a bully. I don't bully anybody.
Do you think that your son is lying to me when he tells me these things?
Objection calls for speculation and hearsay.
Well, I'll let him give his opinion as a father.
What was the question again? Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry. I don't even know. Do you bully your son when he says he wants to come up here?
No, never. I'm his father. Why would I bully my son? But never.
Anthony, just answer the questions and don't add on.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have something else. I'm trying to think of how to word it. Do you think I am not capable of taking care of Ethan?
Correct.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because of your history of drugs and alcohol abuse.
That's hearsay.
I'm answering your question.
Do you think that you have a bad temper when you get mad?
No, I don't.
Have you ever put your hands on me when you got mad?
Never.
Why? So if I showed you the pictures of what you've done to me, you're still going to deny it.
You can show pictures all day. No. I'm going to deny. I haven't done anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've done it in front of Ethan before. He was too young to remember.
Objection, she's testifying and not asking questions.
Objection sustained.
If your son decided he wanted to live up here, would you let him?
No.
Are you working right now?
No.
What do you do for a living?
Right now I'm on disability. I've been on
What?
disability.
What for?
Kidneys functioning.
So do you think your health might get in the way of actually being physically fit for your son?
I got a kidney transplant last year. It'll be a year in 2 days.
And your health never gets in the way of spending time with your son?
Never did.
Well, he said. Do you help Ethan with his homework?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is he studying right now?
What do you mean? What is he studying?
What kind of math is he studying right now?
He is on algebra.
He's actually studying integers.
No, it's not.
I talked to him the other day, but that's your answer. So is he still taking the extra classes for his dyslexia?
No,
Why not?
because he's out of dyslexia.
You don't just get out of that. Why would he stop getting help for that?
Because he don't really need it anymore. You call the school, you know.
So he has not told you that he was still struggling with his dyslexia.
Objection,
recently.
hearsay.
Objection sustained.
I'm asking, has he told you that he was still struggling with this lately?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Objection sustained.
Do you know what Ethan's favorite anime cartoon is?
I don't watch cartoons with Ethan.
But you said you spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah. Sports wise, outside, doing things, cooking. We don't watch cartoons together. He has his
Do you-
own TV.
Do you think that sports and working out is more important than his education?
Of course not.
Anything else, Ms. Tovar?
I can't think of anything right now.
All right. So that was the cross-examination of Mr. Lewis. I'm trying to remember, I think petitioner is rested. So then, Ms. Tovar, did you have anything else that you wanted to testify about?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, I would like to redirect a little bit with Mr. Lewis, quick on a topic that was brought up in our cross.
Okay, you may.
Would you, you talked about her drug and alcohol problem. Will you go into some detail about some specifics that you experienced with Ms. Tovar?
Oh man. I mean, ton of drinking, ton of drug use, and so many problems, so many fabrication stories because of drugs. It's just so much.
What time period was that?
Between 2007 to 2000 and that I know of, 11, 12, when we really stopped talking.
Okay. And what drugs was she using?
What I've known and saw
You didn't see nothing. You
was cocaine and crystal meth.
Okay.
been lying.
And was she working at that time?
Not that I recall.
Was she living with you at that time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so she was, were you the primary caregiver of your son throughout his entire life?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And for a period of that time, she struggled with alcohol abuse and drug abuse.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
It's on.
What else? I'm sorry.
It's documented on classes she took and CPS cases and everything. It's
So
all
was-
documented.
So was CPS involved with Ethan?
Yes, ma'am. With her and Ethan.
Okay, and they chose to place Ethan with you during that period of time?
No, ma'am. They
No.
was just investigating my son because she had got CPS called on her.
Okay, and y'all were separated at the time?
Yes, we've been separated.
Okay, but so CPS wasn't, there was never a removal because he was already with you?
Yes.
Okay,
He was visiting her, and I guess someone called CPS on her because of where she was at.
where was she?
At a drug house.
Okay,
God, you're stupid.
all right, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Tovar, did you want to present your testimony now?
Yes, he's making up stories over there. Ethan has lived with me. He has not lived with Anthony this whole time. That's a lie. I actually have some of his school papers when he was in school with my address on them. So he has lived with me. Me and Mr. Lewis, we went through, when we were going through our separation, we did have verbal joint custody where Ethan lived with me 2 weeks, he lived with him 2 weeks. We were doing that perfectly fine when I lived there. The whole problem started when I decided to move. And when I decided to leave him is when all the stories started and all the violence started. So all this drug and alcohol stuff, I don't drink. I don't. I'm sober right now. The last drink I took was over a year ago. I don't drink. I don't do nothing anymore. I work and I've been trying to get my son to live with me. That's it. So all what he's saying is hearsay and lies. Because I know my son has lived with me. Mr. Lewis would get mad and he would come breaking through my door and taking my son out of my arms with very violent temper, which is one of the reasons I don't want my son to stay there, because I know how violent Mr. Lewis can be, especially when he doesn't get his way. And if he spends so much time with his son and he's such a good father, he would at least know his son's favorite cartoon. I'm way thousands of miles away and I know everything about my son right now. I know what he's studying in school. I know what kind of cartoon he likes. I know what he's struggling with in school. He sends me pictures of his homework that he's struggling with. So he's trying to paint a picture that he's the perfect father and that I'm nothing over here, but it's not that way. I'm not saying he's not a good father. I'm not saying that at all. But I should have the chance to bring my son up here and have full custody. I mean, I really think that I'm more equipped mentally to help him with his education. There's a lot more opportunity in the schools up here. I mean, they have astronomy and robotics in our schools up here. I want to expand more. I want to expand my son's future more and not just shelter him to a little bitty small farm town that he's been in for the past few years. I mean, he should have the option to choose to come up here and live. There's nothing illegal going on over here. There's no violence. There's none of that stuff. I'm just looking for the well-being of my son and where he should be. I mean, that's really, really all I want. I want what's best for him. And it terrifies me to have him down there with Mr. Lewis when he gets mad.
Ms. Baker, any questions for Ms. Tovar?
Yes. Have you contacted the school at all or visited with his counselors or teachers?
I have emailed them and asked them for updates on Ethan periodically. And I told them to keep me up to date if anything changes.
And who is them? Who did you send your email to?
To the principal, what's her name? Ms. Gruber, or I don't know how to say her last name.
And when was that?
It was last year, the last time I talked to her.
Okay. So since last year, would it be fair to say you've had no contact with any teachers, counselors, or anything like that?
I haven't heard of any problems with Ethan, and Ethan's been keeping me up to date with his grades and his problems that he's been having study-wise.
Okay. So the answer is no. You haven't contacted, you've had no contact with the school or since that initial contact?
No, not this year.
Okay. Now you know, part of what I heard you say is that y'all argue. Do you feel that if all of your communication was in writing, it would be best for both of you?
No, there's been a time Mr. Lewis told me, and excuse my language, when we were having issues, he said, "Fuck those papers."
Okay, so if that were if he were required to communicate with you in writing, wouldn't that be good evidence for the judge in your case?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Do you think it would be beneficial for all communications between the two of you to be in writing so that there's no no allegations that somebody said something that they didn't say? So it's very clear that you've sent him a message saying 48 hours before that I'm intend to be there at 6 p.m. at the beginning of my period of possession to exercise it.
I I want to say yes and no. The reason I'm saying no is because there's been times that Mr. Lewis was, well, it was supposed to be Mr. Lewis responding to me, and it was his wife responding to me, and I found that out. And that's why I wanted to talk to Mr. Lewis on the phone, and actually hear his voice, because his wife was talking for him, not him.
Okay.
And I don't have a kid with his wife. I have a kid with him.
Well, you understand he doesn't have to talk to you if he doesn't want to, correct?
Well, I understand that.
Okay, and you understand that we've asked the court to order your communications to take place through an application called Our Family Wizard. And we're asking that to be part of your final order.
Okay, I got a question though. Is this gonna, will it be Mr. Lewis talking to me and not his wife? How do I know that?
I don't know if it's relevant, but it I mean it's if you know somebody has a secretary or somebody has somebody typing for them, whatever's out there is there to be used for clarity's sake. It's not, I mean, I guess you don't. If somebody could log in and to hit, his account and respond. But if he allows that to happen and there's an inappropriate response on Our Family Wizard and you bring him to court to enforce something, that would be there and he can't take it back. That's the purpose of it.
Okay, but I do not want somebody else talking for him, especially when I know it's not him talking, because he doesn't even know how to say or spell some of the words that are in the messages. That's the problem I'm having. It's not him responding. It's somebody else. And I don't have a kid with somebody else. I have a kid with him. He should be the one responding, whether it's via text or via phone.
Okay. Where are you currently working?
Yes, I am.
And who do you work for?
I work for Wiz International. It's a traveling inventory associate position. So I do inventory for grocery stores and retail stores.
And what is your income from that job?
It's only part-time. So there's times I only work 2 days a week. There's times that I may work 3 or 4 days a week. Income wise, probably every 2 weeks, roughly, I don't know. It could be anywhere from $200 to maybe 4 or 5. It just depends because it is part-time.
So your income is somewhere between $200 to $400 every 2 weeks is your take home?
Yes.
Okay. And who do you live with in your current home?
It's me and my husband.
And what is his name?
Eric Tyner.
And what does he do?
Right now he does heavy equipment mechanic.
Okay. And how long has he had that job?
He just started this one. He's starting his own business, but it's like in the startup phase. So he's not making anything.
So he doesn't make any income?
A little bit.
What is his income?
I don't know. I don't go by his income because this is my child. He pays the bills. He helps pay the bills here.
What are your bills there?
We have rent and lights and phones, and we have all the normal utilities that you're supposed to have.
Okay. And what is your, does he have any children?
Yes, he does. They're older. They're not in the home.
Okay. And so what is your rent?
It's $1,200 a month.
Okay, and so how are you making your rent if he's not employed and you're only making 200 to 400
No.
every 2 weeks?
He makes enough money to pay the bills.
Okay, so he pays the rent?
Yes.
Okay, and have you ever had your lights turned out since you've been there?
No.
Have you have you ever been behind on your rent?
Nope.
Do you own a car?
Nope. We pay a car payment.
So do you have a car that you drive?
Yes.
What kind of car do you drive?
It's a Kia.
Does he have another vehicle besides you have another household vehicle?
Yes. He has a work truck
Okay,
or a Tahoe, whatever you want to call it.
okay. Do you foresee any problem with you exercising your summer visitation this year?
No. I actually talked to Ethan the other day and we were already planning for him to come up here for the summer.
Okay, so do you have any objections to 48 hours before the date that you begin your summer visitation? When is that again? That's in
June.
mid-July or June?
June.
Okay, so June 30th, I believe, was that the date in your temporary order?
I think it was the 31st. Let me double check. It was the 30th.
Okay, so you understand you've got to read your order to know when your periods of possession are to take place, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it's fair to say that you haven't exercised every single period of possession you're entitled to, understandably so because of the distance, correct?
Yes, but I have let Mr. Lewis know on the times that I cannot get him. I've told him, I've stated to him numerous times, if I'm able to make it, since I am so far away, I will let you know way ahead of time.
Okay, so you understand we're not asking you to notify him way ahead of time. We're just asking that you notify him 48 hours on our family wizard
Okay.
that you are going to actually show up on the time you're supposed to show up in your court order on a certain day and time.
Yeah, that's no problem. I have no problem with that.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right, then, Ms. Tovar, any other witnesses or any other evidence that you have?
Trying to think if there's anything else I need to ask her. Oh, I do have a question. Am I able to ask Mr. Lewis now?
All right, if you have another question, go ahead.
So who pays your rent?
Me and my wife,
How much do y'all pay over there?
1,100,
So your wife works?
of course.
What does she do?
Dentist assistant.
I couldn't hear you.
A dentist assistant and office manager.
Okay, so you make enough in the disability to pay the bills over there.
We both pay bills. It's a us.
Well, how many vehicles does your household have?
2,
What kind of vehicles are those?
a truck and a car.
What year?
My truck is a 2003. My car is a 2015.
And you don't make any other income doing anything else?
No,
So you don't have a side landscaping business that you're making money with?
no ma'am. No landscaping.
So what are the jobs that you're sending my son on then?
My son helps me cut a neighbor's grass. No landscaping. Grass mowing.
So you have a grass mowing business on the side?
No.
So y'all only cut one grass and not 3 a day sometimes?
No, we volunteer and cut grass for a church member.
So you never get paid for these.
No, it's volunteer. And it's one.
I'm trying to figure out how to ask this.
See, they're trying to get some attention from me.
No, so your son is not, your son is, you're trying to say your son is lying about you making money, cutting other people's grass.
Objection assumes facts, not evidence. Hearsay calls for speculation.
Okay, objection sustained.
Who all lives in your household?
Me, my other 3 kids, well, 2 kids, and my wife.
Okay, and is your wife receiving child support for those other 2 kids or 3 kids?
No. They take care of, their fathers take care of them too.
So they're receiving, or they're basically getting child support too.
No child support. They come see their kids.
So you pay for everything the kids need?
Oh, we both do. We take care of all 3 kids. So we don't just take care of Ethan.
Have you ever spent any of the money I've sent for child support on Ethan on them other kids?
Objection relevance.
What's the relevance of that, Ms. Tovar?
I'd like to know that I'm sending money to my son and not somebody else's kids.
I'm just gonna have to assume that Ethan gets fed and is clothed. So objection sustained.
What did you do when the power was out for 2 days? How did you feed and have the kids bathed, and what was the process there?
What do you mean?
When the lights were out from the storm for over 2 days, how did y'all eat and bathe?
We stayed in a motel.
That's not what Ethan said.
Objection.
So you've never had, besides the storm, you've never had your lights turned out or anything?
Never.
Did your aunt live with you and help pay bills while Ethan's been there?
My aunt raised me.
Did she live and help pay bills with you while Ethan lived there?
Of course. A long time ago. A while ago.
How long is a long time ago?
About 2 years ago. Before I got married.
So you mean to say she never lived with you while you were married?
No.
Has your aunt ever sat and took care of Ethan while you were off either sick or running errands or anything like that?
Objection relevance. Other than to the fact that he's got family support.
Objection sustained.
Did your aunt take care of Ethan more than you have?
Never. My aunt helped me raise him while you wasn't there.
So you're saying I was never there to take care of Ethan?
Was never there to take care of him. Me and my aunt was.
Why are you lying?
I'm answering your questions.
Objection argumentative.
Objection sustained. All right, anything else, Ms. Tovar?
No.
All right. Then I know Ms. Baker, since you represent the petitioner in this case, I'll have you prepare the order. How much time will you need?
A week.
Okay, and will you be able to email a draft to Ms. Tovar?
I can.
All right, while we have entry on the 29th. So Ms. Tovar, Ms. Baker will prepare the entry of the order today and email that to you to review. And if you think there's something in the order that's different than what I said, first get with Ms. Baker and try to work out the differences, all right?
How do I got a question. How do I fight for full custody? I want to continue. I don't want to just stay with the visitation.
Yeah, you'd have to file documents to request that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, but for now, the parties will be joint managing conservators of Ethan. And so Mr. Lewis will have the right to designate the residents to be in Austin County and contiguous counties. Require Ms. Tovar to maintain child support based on minimum wage. Health insurance will be through Medicaid. Give Mr. Lewis the exclusive right to make educational decisions. You know, I'll find that there's that child support arrearage of $3,275.18. I know Ms. Tovar said $2,000 was sent in there. So hopefully by the time of the entry, that'll be registered, and then there can be a judgment that shows the exact amount of the arrearage, and have Ms. Tovar pay $50 a month extra toward the arrearage. We'll order that the parties enroll in Our Family Wizard and pay a fee for that. So Ms. Tovar, just Google Our Family Wizard and see how to sign up for that.
Okay.
And then before these extended visitations of summer, Thanksgiving, Christmas, anytime that Ms. Tovar is coming to pick up Ethan for a visitation, she's to give 48 hours notice on Our Family Wizard. Or yes. All right. Anything else, Ms. Baker?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And Ms. Tovar, any questions?
Is there a way that you can talk to my son regarding this?
Okay. Well, again, if you want to see about filing modifications or changing things, you have to file documents with the court, and then you can file a motion for me to confer with Ethan.
Okay.
All right. So then again, Ms. Baker will prepare the decree, and entry date will be March 29th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. So you're all excused. Thank you.